All right, happy Sunday, everyone. Let's get straight into this crypto weekend update. So we are on Bitcoin at the moment. Are we still bearish on the hourly? For now, yes. For now, yes. That's our hourly high, and also where we have some liquidity. Sorry, actually, no, that's our hourly high, which we've just SFP'd. So the hourly high has been SFP'd, but what I don't like is the fact that we haven't grabbed this liquidity as well. So it's kind of like an awkward ranging environment at the moment. However, we are still bullish on the 4 hour. So yeah, technically speaking, we're only bearish on the hourly still. But then yeah, obviously we are still bearish on the daily and the weekly, so so therefore I'm still favoring this distribution, but I just want this extreme liquidity to be grabbed before I enter. I'm not really rushing to enter until the extreme liquidity is grabbed. Just something to be aware of. We may have created some demand in here, so we will double check this. So far it looks quite valid, so let's see how valid it really is. It has been mitigated on the lower time frame, so therefore it is not as valid to me. As you do know, I do like these to be clean when we zoom in and look at it from a structural demand perspective, and it isn't. It's not that clean. It's been mitigated on the lower time frame. We do have somewhat of inefficiency there, which we can label for our chart, but other than that, I'd take this demand with a grain of salt. So that shows us where the true inefficiency lies. So it definitely makes me a bit more confident entering with how this type of demand looks like. But yeah, ideally we come up slowly, sweep this extreme liquidity, and then I can enter on a break. That is pretty much it. I don't need price to hit this supply. It's not really a need. A sweep of extreme liquidity is enough. There we go. We'll move this across. Yeah, so for me, a sweep of extreme liquidity is enough. But that hasn't happened yet, so we just have to be patient. Yeah, it's still technically speaking, it's still a pro shorting context here still. Nothing has really changed, so I would still be looking for distributions. Yeah. If we have to look at USDT dominance, we are also still bullish on USDT dominance on the hour. As you can see, there's been no hourly break. How valid is this demand? That's my question. Not really the most valid demand, POI. So yeah, still bullish on USDT dominance. Which obviously aligns with Bitcoin's bearishness on the hourly as well. But yeah, overall, same thing. The only thing I don't like, yeah, we are bearish on the daily though. Can that change? Potentially. It is quite a weak break of structure, but it is a break of structure. And obviously the higher time frame, which holds the highest power, is still bullish, which is the weekly. And we're a while away from being bearish on the weekly, that's for sure. So yeah, like to put it in simple terms, overall, I'd still be looking for low to mid time frame distributions on the crypto pairs for now. We'll see if this becomes a range later down the track, later in the week. It's not really there yet, has a bit more time. Well, WIF did grab this supply and has reacted from it, although what I do not like about it is the fact that it is creating buy-side liquidity, as you can see here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we temporarily sweep this and then dump. Will we come all the way up and sweep this extreme liquidity? I don't know. I would like to. I do prefer a model one here, where we do something like this, and then we can short this third tap POI, but we'll see what happens. So not a whole lot I'm too interested in at the moment with WIF, just needs a bit more time, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But like as I've said, ideally with Bitcoin, we're expecting, technically we're expecting, because we are bullish on the 4, but we are bearish on the hour. So I'm expecting us to just come up, sweep this extreme liquidity, fail to break the hourly, and then start coming back down. So we'll see if that happens. Links. Link is still a while away from this high time frame distribution. It's reacted beautifully from demand, so keep a note of that, but we're still a while away from this extreme liquidity up top here. So yeah, just be patient there. But so far we're moving up really nicely to it, leaving some beautiful sell side liquidity below. But yeah, overall just expect us to go higher for now. Not looking to short anything until we come up and sweep that extreme liquidity POI. That is Link so far. Could you look at a potential low time frame distribution here? You can, but it's just not the cleanest. It is just not the cleanest. Technically speaking, we've deviated both sides, because that's our range low, and then we've created the high, and then we've deviated low. So it's not really a model. Just focus on whenever we have price action like this, where you've got a high time frame distribution at play, and you've got maybe some low time frame distributions playing out, just especially if they're low probability, just focus on the higher time frame of play. Always just focus on the higher time frame of play. Don't make it too hard for yourself. And that is exactly what I'm doing now. I'm not really looking to try and trade anything right now on Link. Just got my alert set. Nothing has really changed. I'm just waiting for my extreme liquidity POI to get swept. Well, we have swept this liquidity on virtual. We've obviously broken structure as well. That is still the only retest POI. Nothing has really changed. I'm going to leave price as is here. Not a whole lot I'm too interested in doing. Yeah, volume area low is all the way here, so we haven't deviated that yet. Sol, still folk. I do have this accumulation at play. Will it play out? I don't know, but I still have my extreme liquidity POI over here. Not a whole lot has changed for now. Well, XMR has made a Model 1, which I actually don't mind. So let's see if there's any entry opportunities here. Yeah, like so far, clean looking Model 1. Let's look for demand. Honestly, not really at the moment. At least I'm not seeing anything. If anything, maybe here, but I feel like even that's been mitigated on the lower time frame. You could potentially look at this. But no, even this, there you go. Even this has been mitigated on the lower time frame. This has been mitigated. It would have been somewhat of a structure. It would have been probably valid structure demand at the time, but then obviously it's been mitigated. Mitigated. Way too low time for me to even care about. Yeah, as I said, way too low time for me to care about, but especially on the weekend as well. This is very much a manipulation demand. Yeah, honestly, this is pretty good to short. I would happily short this. Yeah, pretty much you can enter off this 15-minute breaker structure here when and if that happens, if it's clean. So should we enter off this? I am happy to enter. which is a very decent 6.64 risk to reward. Just going to calculate my position size here. All right, let's see what price does here. All right, we'll move XMR to the top. And we'll see if we can catch a nice short on this. We've spoken about virtual. Sol as well, we've spoken about. Quant isn't doing a whole lot that I'm interested in. Aave, if there's any opportunity for redistributions here, I'm happy to take them, but nothing at the moment. Okay, Pepe. Well, this could be interesting. So tap. If we look at this from a high time frame model 2 perspective, tap 1 to 2, 4 days, 20 hours. Tap 2 to 3. Yeah, this is valid. Question is there demand? Same thing, like you can look at this as manipulation quite easily. We have grabbed extreme liquidity. That's something to just be aware of there. But we've definitely left all this demand as well. And some nice liquidity here, piling up really, really nicely. Yeah, here no real demand, so pretty happy with a potential entry on Pepe. Nice little local topping formation as well. I would be taking this 10-minute low. And then this only does give us a 2.72, but we'll see if we can get this into a more refined move. Yeah, it's still the 10-minute, which is kind of the only... You could look at it from the 5-minute break right there. Oh, actually, no, that's not valid either, because we have an inside bar candle. Yeah, 10-minute, the 10-minute it is. And then this 2 minutes just too low time frame for my liking. Like, technically speaking, you could definitely open a position on a 2-minute break there. And what would that give you? That give you a decent 6.54. The only thing I don't like at the moment with Bitcoin is it is leading behind some buy side after it has swept. Yeah, but then it has deviated the or SFP, the hourly high. But then it's just leaving buy side liquidity. The only issue for me with entering here is there's little room to de-risk. Because the 10-minute low is only here. Look, you know what? If it's a strong break, I'll enter. If it's a strong break. And then we might be able to get a semi-decent de-risking opportunity. I'm waiting for the candle closure, and then I am limiting in on this 2-minute break. All right, I am in the position. There you go, guys. Live Pepe short. My entry price was 0.28180, which is 0.28180. Pretty much right there. Stops are right here. So overall, this is a 4.89 risk to reward. Not bad. And now we're going to be cautiously monitoring this 10-minute low. And we'll set our TP as well. All right, we will essentially set and forget this for now until we get to this market structure low, and then we're going to monitor this very, very cautiously. We have left created 10-minute supply as well, which I do like quite a lot. So we will see what happens there. Yeah, then the supply in its own is not the greatest because it has been mitigated on the lower time frame, being the 10-minute, or the 10 minutes OBIF has been mitigated on the lower time frame. It's not really overlapping supply, but it's close enough, so I will use this. Is it valid on the 30 seconds? Yeah, technically speaking, it's 30-second overlapping supply, which is very low time frame for crypto, but I will more so monitor this for myself, just see if price does climb up here. Okay. All right, that is Pepe. Let's move on. We'll move Pepe here. What was XMR doing? Okay, XMR is also getting close to that 15-minute low, looking really nice. XMR is looking really, really nice at the moment. If you really want to, you could have probably entered on a 2-minute here, on this 2-minute break right there. But you do kind of have liquidity up top. Just something to be aware of. But we're obviously prioritizing the 15-minute low. All right, let's keep the ball rolling. XRP. Not a whole that I'm too interested in at the moment for XRP. Cake is compressing. Very like semi-low time frame compression, but compression is a compression. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Before I go to Bitcoin Cash, let me just quickly double check what Bitcoin's doing. Okay, I don't mind this. I like this, given I am in a distribution. Bitcoin Cash. We have the compression, we have the first move. Now we're just kind of going lower. We've just grabbed this high. And not a whole lot. I'm expecting us to go lower and eventually surpass this low over here. Asta is forming somewhat of a local distribution. As I said many times before, I don't really like Asta and the price action it's been giving me pretty much from the moment this pair got created. I just don't like it. It isn't a confirmed Model 1. Maybe you can get a extended tap into a Model 2. Maybe. Yeah, it's just not that clean, is it? It's become pretty low volume as well. Not too much of a fan. So I will leave that as is. Hype has plummeted. Not doing a whole lot at the moment. So we might be redistributing here. To an extent. it's a pretty ugly, it's an ugly range, and it's very short time frame, so I'm not really going to give this any attention. Yeah, 11 hours, not a fan. And there's still quite a bit of liquidity to grab, so I wouldn't really put it past Sui to just push up higher. It's just, yeah, I'm happy with the 2 trades. I mean, I'm not really interested in a low time frame scalp here. If I was to look at Sui from a slightly higher time frame perspective, this is about extreme liquidity. Yeah, that's kind of it. That is kind of it. All right, XLM, let's have a look. We've obviously distributed there. We might be creating another distribution on XLM. This is my extreme liquidity. Yes, it has grabbed the high to its left, but it's also left behind close highs there, so that's why it is a valid extreme liquidity PLY. All right, you know, we'll move XLM a little higher. Fartcoin, not a whole lot going on. Doge, not a whole lot, still in a high time frame range. Litecoin, not a whole lot going on here as well. Pump. Pump is still in this compression, so I kind of want to see what it does. I'm just going to draw this for now, but I'm not too I'm not in a rush. Put it this way. I'm not in a rush to there's some nice equal highs up top. I'm not in a rush to trade this range whatsoever on Pump, but this is just more so like a let's see how it plays out later on. BNB. Not a whole lot. Render, not a whole lot. Moving towards that tab 1 still, sort of. This is my extreme liquidity on Render. Not the cleanest looking zone, especially where it is contextually speaking. It's pretty much just deviated or just created a tap 2 on this higher time frame range. So I wouldn't be rushing to for it to distribute right now. Given it's done its first deviation / tap 2 of this higher time frame potential accumulation range, I can see it doing something like this first before slowly coming back down for the third tap / second deviation. So we will see what happens. And then Tau isn't. Is it? It is. It isn't. It is. Not really interested in Tau at the moment. Trump's pumped a little bit. It's also, has it created demand? Yeah, it's created demand in the meantime as well. Yeah, valid demand. We'll see what happens here. Graham. This page just makes me laugh. Not a whole lot to do in Graham, so we'll go back to Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm hoping this closes nicely and doesn't pull back up, but we'll see. Yes, there is demand below. Same thing, it is demand created on the weekend, so I wouldn't be surprised if we just go lower. We are technically speaking in an already confirmed Model 1. Although it's not the cleanest, but it is a confirmed model. And then the higher time frame is bearish, weekly, daily. Nice liquidity below. ETH we've looked at. So yeah, so at the moment, still monitoring the 15-minute break of structure for XMR. I'm waiting for a break here. That will give me all the confidence I need to enter, and then Pepe we are already in off that very low time frame entry. So we will see what happens. And yeah, that is it for today, guys. Thank you for listening, for viewing. Subscribe if you made it this far, and I will catch you all on tomorrow's Forex update. And yeah, we'll do another crypto update tomorrow. Peace.